There's a game on, guys.
That's the big game. We're recording this on Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm wearing my Eagles colors.
But now people know where we're from. All right, welcome to another episode of First Reaction Fan Reaction. I'm your host, Dara Whitman. With me is my co-host,
Cailin Clothier.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We just watched a show, and a lot of things happened.
All right, well, we're on Orphan Black still. We are on season 1 still. We are on episode 3, Variations Under Nature.
Yay.
So, how you feeling about this episode?
This is a good episode.
Yeah.
I
think this was like, for me, like the first 2 episodes, I really like them.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm just like, okay, I'm intrigued. Like, I might watch a couple more, just see what's going on. After the 3rd episode, I'm like, I'm in.
Yes.
Because this one's got
a lot happens.
So much happens. All right, so we basically, once again, we start off, we're getting back into the breakdown. We start off where we left off in the 2nd episode. We're at Allison's house, and we are with Sarah and Allison and Cosima, who we get to know a bit more, and she looks like a hippie kind of, a bit, well, hippie-ish. She got like dreads,
yeah,
and like that kind of thing, but she's also a science nerd.
She's a nerd.
So Cailin's favorite
big
person.
nerd. Damn it, you have me pegged.
I know you well. I know you too well. And knowing, we might learn a bit more about, we're going to obviously learn more about Cosima later on, so we're going to like her a lot more.
Nice.
We also get the reveal that they're clones, which I don't know if that was supposed to be a reveal, even though we all knew that.
Yeah, but it's more or less confirmed in this
Allison
episode.
kind of says it, but like she doesn't say it nicely.
Yeah,
because Cosima trying to like gradually like get her into it.
We're clowns, all right. Clowns.
Like I said, a suburban Stepford wife kind of mother.
Yeah,
probably should not have to deal with this.
Yeah, it's definitely not the character kind of archetype that you expect in this situation, which makes it a lot of fun. This is just a lot of fun. The different types of people they pull into this situation. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah. So
they start to explain it. Felix kind of walks in at one point because he's just like, bored. Mm-hmm. And I just love the scene so much. So Allison hears it, runs out with her gun, and is about to shoot Felix.
Poor Felix.
And Sarah's like, shit. So then she goes out, tries to like defuse the situation, mm-hmm. and then slaps Allison right in the face, and it's like, if you point a gun at my brother again, I'm gonna kick the living shite out of you. Yeah, it was good. And then we're talking about how I wish I could say shite.
You can say shite if you want to.
It's pretentious if you're American. I think
that's all right.
And we learn basically, and then they're about to leave, and then Cosima's like, you broke the first rule of Clone Club.
Which is, I guess, don't talk about Clone Club.
Yeah, that's kind of, if we ever, like, whenever we post these, like, you need to use the hashtag Clone Club.
I was planning. That's, like, one of the few things I know about the show is the hashtag.
Clone Club,
Clone Club.
Although, at this point, like, she, like, basically, like, when they get back to, I think they go to Felix's, and she's just, like, telling him about this, because, why not? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I think Sarah's in a bit of denial?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She, like, doesn't get how, like, freaky this situation is.
Which, like, but, like, at this point, like, how many, like, she's met, like, several?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, Cosima pointed out, Cosima wants the briefcase back.
Yes,
which
with
is important.
The samples.
Yeah, because she's a scientist, so.
She's going to do some science stuff.
Yeah. I love how half my notes are, I wonder who's going to be Cailin's favorite. I
hate how well you have me pegged.
I know. So the next day, Beth, quote unquote, Beth, gets reinstated as a cop.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a great thing.
Well,
for Sarah.
Yeah, right. Because she has to figure out how to be a cop because she's never been a cop before.
Yeah. And, like, obviously, like, she's trying to, like, do stuff that, like, she's supposed to do because they got to go out for 10:45. Mm-hmm. Which, and, like, she's trying to put her gun into a holster. It's not going well, guys.
Yeah. She's kind of a mess.
Yep. But we go to a familiar place. Mm-hmm. The place where Sarah buried Katya's body. Turned out it was an active quarry.
Whoops.
So that's not good enough. Well, I mean, on the plus side, they don't just have like a straight up dead body. They've got pieces of a dead body.
Yeah.
Poor Katya.
Oh, no. Yeah, she done got...
She just wants to get help with her sickness. She winds up dead and in pieces. Mm-hmm. That just sucks. But I guess one good thing is her face got so mangled up that they can't, like, identify her.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Yes. So they can't kind of put together...
But they have her hand so they can match fingerprints.
Yes.
So, and according to Cosima, if somebody had a criminal record,
yeah,
they could match the fingerprints.
Right.
Unfortunately,
One of them does have a criminal record.
Yeah.
And it's Sarah.
That's good. I don't know where Casima's staying right now, because I was just wondering about that, because we established that Casima's American, and she goes to school in like Minnesota or something.
Yes, Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is where the Super Bowl is today.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
We're not a football podcast, guys.
We're not.
So later on, Sarah and Casima meet up, and they just like keep like putting into your head what kind of person Casima is. Like, she's like drinking a nice glass of wine.
Yeah.
She's reading The Origin of Species.
Yeah.
So we learned that she is a PhD student in evolutionary development.
Nice.
Like you do.
Which is very helpful.
It is.
For this type of situation they're all in.
Mm-hmm. And basically, like, Sarah brings a briefcase, and they're just kind of like, Casima explains to her what's going on.
Yeah. Learn a little bit more about the whole situation and how they all came to know each other. Yeah,
which is basically, I think it was Katya contacted Beth and was like, hey, like, I think we're something's going on, like, we're identical, and somebody's trying to kill us.
Yeah.
So then...
Well, they're killing the European
They're killing all the European ones, which actually makes sense now if you think about it.
Yeah.
Why they went to Europe first.
Mm-hmm.
But, so then Beth tries to find people in North America, and two matches Allison and Casima.
Yeah. And it was based on driver's license, which is why Sarah didn't come up, probably, because she doesn't drive. Or does she drive? She can drive, but she doesn't have a license, I guess.
There's not a ton of record on Sarah, and we will get into that later.
Oh, okay. Ooh, backstory.
And Casima basically like keeps saying like, you need to stay being a cop so that we can like, you know, keep like this going, and also like bring in the fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sarah's like, you know what, okay, and gives her the briefcase, and tries to make a nice joke, and says, keep your humor, Beth never could. Sad.
Yeah, because she killed herself.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, sad. Anyway, so Beth is like still kind of working on this case, and Art invites her to go to the shooting range later on, and we learn that Sarah's never shot a gun.
Nope.
So that's not good. Then also somebody calls Art.
Yes.
The killer calls Art.
Yeah,
and they
on
use
his work phone.
They use a voice changer and tells them where she shot Katya. So that goes well. Art does go investigate it, and not like basically like you know stuff we do know. The only thing they find interesting is that there is a Barbie doll head on the spike, and it's got bright red hair.
Yes.
So that's just weird.
That's peculiar, isn't it?
Yep. Sarah meets with Mrs. S, and is basically like, Mrs. S is just like the ultimatum thing, like, you just gotta we'll set up a visit, and you gotta prove yourself, or else I will gain full custody of Kira.
Yes.
Which is, I agree.
Yeah.
I love Mrs. S so much.
She's just like a responsible lady.
She is, and we pointed out she does not look like a grandma in any way.
No. Damn. She's killing it.
Yeah. I just like it so bit. So basically, because Sarah doesn't know how to shoot a gun, Casima's like, we know somebody. Turns out that somebody's Allison.
Yes.
Which is weird I think it'd be weird that Allison knows how to shoot a gun. We learn why she does.
Yeah, she's got to protect her family.
She's got to protect her family. Beth taught her how to do it.
Yeah.
But they need to arrange something because Allison would need a babysitter for her kids. And so who do we get?
We get Uncle Felix.
Hooray.
To babysit the kids, which maybe isn't a good idea.
Also, we meet her husband briefly named Donnie, and you do learn, the kids are adopted because Donnie's super white.
Yeah. He's just like a really stereotypical suburban white dad who plays golf.
Well, he's got to impress a client.
Yeah, but it's just like...
For his business.
He's just like the most white man you can get.
I just love it. So then Felix, this is just funny. So Felix is like there trying to babysit the kids and, dressing them up as drag.
He's putting them in drag, which is great.
You want to dress up like a little girl? No, well, I can't help you. I'll dress up like a boy. We can work with that.
It's good.
We learned a bit more. I guess we learned a tiny bit about Beth and Allison's relationship. There wasn't much of it. Like, Allison just I didn't know her very well.
Right. Beth seems like a very detached kind of person who didn't involve her personal life with anyone.
I feel like Beth also probably lived a fairly normal life.
Yeah.
Up until all of this happened.
She's pretty basic, except she's a cop. But besides that, she was pretty
basic.
Yeah,
but we don't really know much about her parents, and I assume it was probably fairly normal.
Yeah.
Oh, we also learned so Allison basically says, so I didn't know how else I could contribute because Casima's a scientist and Beth was a cop, so they had those.
Yeah.
So I decided I gave some money, about, $75,000.
Yeah.
Put it in a bank account that was under Beth's name.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I could, Allison's like, that's how I could contribute.
Yeah.
Can
like
you get the money?
Fund.
Can you con her bank?
Yeah.
And we're like...
You had to get it back.
And we're like, I think she can.
Maybe. That seems like in the realm of possibility of things that Sarah could do.
Yep, and then Allison turns back, and her son is in a dress, and her daughter is in her husband's clothes.
It's so good.
Adios, Dragsters.
That was good. Man, I never had a babysitter like that when I was a kid.
I think I just dressed in my dad's clothes sometimes, but my mom let me do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But like, we doesn't really like Sarah's still like, no, we're still gonna like steal the money. We're just gonna do this, and we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think she's still in denial about the fact that like, yes, there's a clone. Somebody's trying to kill you. Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Then Paul comes home. Hooray! Paul's home, and Felix has to hide, and he's being very like, no, you're being a bitch.
Yeah.
Confrontational, and then another slight sex scene-ish.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Well, it was like he was trying to make a point, I guess, about being like very kind of bipolar in a way, I guess. And
he said schizo.
He said schizo, which I guess also works. I don't really know. But yeah, he goes from like yelling, and then he's like, oh, but then let's also do it, but then not. Well,
Sarah liked it.
She seemed to like it.
She likes big dick Paul. Then the next day, Sarah's Beth goes to the gun range, and she does good. We're all happy. They discuss the case.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray! Also, earlier Sarah was asking like this one guy Raj about finding there's something with like a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And so the guy basically they put an APB on it. They find the stolen motorcycle,
mm-hmm.
and Art and Sarah Beth decide to go out and like find the lead.
Yes.
So they're going to like this weird, not weird apartment building, but it's just, I guess it's just like rundownish.
Yeah.
And they go. I love this. Like Art's like looking through the windows, and there's just like motorcycle gloves. It's like on display on the bed.
Yeah, like just like very neatly placed, like in full view of anyone who's looking through the window can see, which it's not suspicious at all.
No. So then like they go in and they find a Bible, and what in the Bible is Katya's ID, and there's a psalm.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 13th and the half of the 14th verse of Psalm 139.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read the Bible, guys.
Neither do
I. Something about, I think it was just about like abominations, I guess.
Basically.
It's also written on the wall, which is weird.
Yeah.
And then...
But it's really just like textbook crazy right there.
Textbook crazy.
Yeah.
And then Beth notices that somebody's pointing a gun at them, pushes Art out of the way. Art does get shot. Well, I don't really do that somebody dies.
That's true.
So, like, Art he gets shot, like, below the ear.
Yeah, it just kind of grazes him.
And then Sarah Beth, I love how, like, in the wiki, it's like, quote-unquote Beth.
Yeah.
Runs out to find the person. So there's a chase scene, which Sarah's never done before, and is probably terrified.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a crazy person.
Yeah, you can see in the way she runs. She's like, oh, God, what am I doing? Oh, man.
And then she calls Art, they want to find out where it is. The killer gets behind her, knocks her to the ground.
Yeah.
She's, like, crawling away. Got a knife, and then she's like, good riddance, Elizabeth's child. And you realize, oh, the killer's a woman.
Yes.
Then Sarah yells
out. It's a lady
out,
voice.
Sarah yells out, I'm not Beth. The killer takes off her hood. It's another clone. Bum, bum, bum. I was so trying hard, like, not to, like, show you my face, because I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait.
Yeah.
And then you freaked out, and I'm like, hooray. Because, like, were you not expecting that at all?
I was kind of thinking, as soon as I heard it was a woman, I was like, oh, is this going to be? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, as soon as I heard it was a woman's voice, I'm like, I have a feeling I know where this is going.
But it's exciting.
But it was really good.
Like, what the heck, right?
Yeah, it was just like, it was like a really good moment. Even when you see it coming, it was still, like, good, you know?
Yeah, so I don't know if she was going to kill her, because, I love the line. She calls her a dirty little copy cop. Because I can't do the accent.
That's okay.
Sarah stabs her in the liver with some rebarb.
Yeah.
Like you do. Mm-hmm. And then and then the killer runs away. And Art finds her. Hooray.
Yay.
She's a bit,
banged up.
It's fine. Everything's fine. The cops go by. She basically says, like, oh, I didn't see the person's face because, like, I feel like it seems like we shouldn't be hiding this stuff from the cops. Mm-hmm. But the fact of the matter is, like, how do you explain this to the cops?
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard to explain it. I feel like, we learn later, Art could probably figure it out, though.
Mm-hmm.
Art thanks her, and he has the money and gives it back to her. So we're all good. See, everything's fine. Nothing bad can happen.
Yay, this is all good. No problems here.
Then Felix and Sarah go to Mrs. S's house. They're gonna kidnap Kira, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, that's child napping.
But then Sarah has a change of heart.
Yes.
And decides, hey, maybe I should just, try to prove that I'm a good parent.
Right.
And also keep away this killer from my child.
Yeah, that's kind of first priority there.
And then that's where that story arc kind of ends. And then we cut to the other clone in somewhere, like pulling the rebarb out of her.
Yeah, she just totally
yep,
right out of her, right out of her body. It was impaled. Yes. She was impaled. Now she's not because she pulled it out.
There's still a lot of blood.
There's a lot of blood. There's so much blood.
And we
blood.
get a shot of her back, and it's just like covered in cuts.
Yes, but they look like wings.
They're in the shape of an angel.
Yes, which is strange.
I don't know. There's like, I know this sounds bad, but like there's like certain parts of the back. I don't know how you would get to that.
Hey, you can't touch all parts of your back?
I guess I kind of can, but like, I guess
for the people who can't see, we are currently like experimenting.
I can, but it's like not
the range of our arms on our back.
It's not great.
Yeah, and I got it. I'm good. Anyway, I'm flexible.
But I guess like I don't know. I'm not into like I've never been in a religious cult before. I don't know like if you do something bad, you have to like cut yourself.
Yeah, I never really. I only dabbled with that in college. That's a lie. I was never in a religious cult, guys.
Thank God. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Cailin, what do you think?
Oh man, so much happened.
A lot.
Yeah, I really liked that we got to learn a lot more about kind of the clone stuff. Like that was really the first big introduction of that stuff. So I think that really covered a lot of good information. And then we kind of zero in on the antagonist currently, and that's when we get that big reveal.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah, I do kind of like it. She's an antagonist, not a villain, as like we learned later on. She's a bit messed up.
Yeah, she's got some issues there. Mm-hmm. She has some issues she really needs to work out. Yeah,
so basically we're introduced to, we get like, I guess like Kasim was introduced in the last episode. We get to know her more.
She's like really introduced here. Like she just had like a quick, hello.
Yeah.
But this is when she's like really introduced.
Yeah, so right now, like when it comes to clones we officially met, we've got Sarah, Beth. I guess we officially met Beth, kind of.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we met her. And then as soon as we met her, she killed herself. So,
Katya,
yeah, that's great.
Allison, Kasima. And then the killer clone whose name is revealed in the next episode. Mm-hmm. So that's like 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's like at that point, like you're clones.
Yeah.
There's no other explanation.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot of you.
Yep.
There's so many.
All right. Want to get into the next episode?
Yeah. Let's take a break first.
Take a quick break. And then
after these short messages.
And we will talk about the next episode, Effects of External Conditions.
Ooh, sounds good. Hey, Dara.
Hey, what's up?
Let's take a minute to talk about our sponsor, deepdiscount.com.
Sure, why not?
Deepdiscount.com is a really cool site to buy a bunch of movies and TV shows at really great prices.
Yeah.
For example, from February 16th to February 28th, it's the President's Day Blu-ray sale.
Woo!
You can get all kinds of Blu-rays. For example, I just saw The Fifth Element, and I just heard that Dara has not seen that one before.
I haven't.
Which is a real shame, because it's a real cult classic, and it's available on Blu-ray on deepdiscount.com
well, I know
for just over $10.
That is a good price.
It's a great
That is a great price, actually.
So there's so many shows, there's so many choices, Blu-rays, DVDs, even 4K, and they're all at great prices. So go to deepdiscount.com and support our sponsor. Be good to yourself. All right, thank you, Deep Discount. Peace.
Peace. All right, we're back.
Yay.
All right, so we're going to continue on. Orphan Black Season 1, Episode 4. Let's do it. We cut to, it still says the killer clone cleaning out her wound.
Yes.
And did you really have any idea where she was?
I thought that this was a place of her own. Like, this is like her own place, but it turns out that wasn't the case.
No, it's just some random house.
She just broke into a rando's house and just decided to start cleaning herself
up.
With
a family, so and they're including a child.
A small child.
Who comes in and notices this weird lady is cleaning out, is like in all this blood. And
There's blood everywhere.
There's blood
Everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so much blood.
And then Helena's just kind of like, "You want to come in? Come on."
It's like, all right, kid, let's go.
Were you concerned about the boy?
I didn't think she was going to kill him, if that's what you're asking. But I was concerned for his mental state after witnessing such a horrific thing.
It's fine.
That kid's going to need so much therapy.
Well, whatever. It's fine. Okay, so this is interesting. So Sarah goes to Allison's and gives her the money and actually admits that, like, no, I was going to rob you.
Yeah.
But this is bigger than all of us, and admits that she is a daughter.
Yes.
Biological daughter.
Yeah, which is an interesting note because that seems to pique Allison's interests.
Yeah.
And seems something that's worth mentioning, which I find interesting. I want to. Is that something that's going to get discussed more later?
Well, like as we mentioned, like Allison's children are adopted.
Yeah.
So,
maybe. Okay.
We will get into it.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm excited.
Sarah just basically says, Allison, like, be available when I need you. That's it.
Right.
We talk with Cosima about the knife. Cosima being Cosima just, like, goes on.
She's just like she's a giant nerd.
Like, I feel like if I
relate
took
to her.
a quiz about which clone I am, I think I'm, like, probably mixed between Sarah and Cosima.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're just Cosima.
I think that's definitely, like, full me.
And we point out that she's weird.
Yeah.
Cosima points out that the blade might symbolize something, which we will get into.
Right. Yeah, because it has like, it's like very kind of, it's very well carved out. There's symbols and stuff on it. So.
And Sarah needs to continue being Beth.
Yes.
So it seems fine. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And then Art texts Sarah Beth and tells her that they have a lead.
Yes.
And basically the lead is is the house. And that it's basically probably the mom reported that, hey, there was somebody in my house.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood everywhere. And my son also said he saw her. And I feel kind of bad as a parent that I didn't notice such a thing. So.
Poor mom. That poor mother.
The poor family.
Well, it's funny enough. So, like, they're, like, going through it. And Art interviews the kid. And Art says, like, so did you see what the killer looked like?
Yeah.
And then he literally just points to Sarah.
Yeah.
And it's like probably in a way saying exactly like this woman.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
But all Art kind of gets is that the killer is actually a woman about Sarah Beth's size.
Yeah.
And not the face.
Not the face.
Thank God. And also the killer was wearing gloves. Blah, blah, okay, that thing. Sarah goes up to the kid and basically says, I'm not her. And the kid's like, I forgot how traumatized he looked.
Yeah. This poor kid. He has a gift for her.
Yeah. They say it's like did you call them paper fortune tellers?
Yeah, fortune tellers.
That's what you called them?
Yeah.
I called them cootie catchers.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've also called them that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard them called both, but I think I mostly call them fortune tellers. I still make them. I know how to make them.
I know how to make them too.
Yes.
Even though I'm bad at folding.
That's okay. I still love you.
I do kind of love it. This is like a small thing, but Sarah and Mrs. S confirmed their visit, and Kira's like painting a picture of her mom, and you just like notice. Like she was like painting with the red lips and it's just like dripping. Yeah,
it's like this really thick layer of red paint and just like drips down. I'm like, wow, that's really great. Awesome. Not terrifying at all. Thanks, kid.
The detectives to talk about the case. It's not that interesting. Like they definitely they know something. Like they could probably figure it out. Unfortunately, there's like the whole clone thing that they can never figure out.
Yeah, they're smart. Like it's interesting because they are very capable. Like because sometimes I feel like in shows where you're kind of working not against or kind of up against the police or like law enforcement, you can either have where they're like just super incompetent or they super off track or like they're right on the money. And this is like I don't know. It's done kind of realistically, I guess, which I like.
Yeah, Beth is taken back to. She gets a phone call basically, and it's the killer. Hooray!
Yep.
This is where we learn her name, which is Helena.
Helena.
That is her name. Basically, she says, I already gave you directions, and they are like looking at the numbers, and it's an address, so they all go to the thing. And as Sarah and Art are leaving, you see like a homeless person. Not a homeless person. It's Helena.
Yeah.
Dressed up sort of like Beth, I guess.
Not just. Yeah, kind of passably.
Passably, which is technically, this is like, I guess like technically the first time that we have to see Tatiana Maslany playing one clone pretending to be another clone.
Right.
You could say like she's pretending to be Beth, but like we didn't really know Beth.
Right. So yeah, it was hard to kind of see.
This is like Helena pretending to be Sarah, pretending to be Beth. Badly.
Yes.
And she doesn't really do much. She just kind of like dicks around in the area. She messes with the pictures. She eats a muffin hilariously, and Paul calls, and basically she messes that up big time.
Oh yeah, she done hex that up.
That did not go well. Also, she took a photo of Maggie Chen and covered up the photo of Beth and Paul.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because, like, obviously, like, you just think it was like we're starting to realize that the Maggie Chen thing wasn't just a random thing, which is also interesting. But then, and then later there's a scuffle with Paul, and I think it's interesting though because it seems like that Paul's like super trying to like getting into this Beth,
Yeah.
and Sarah's kind of getting into Paul a bit.
Yeah.
It's adorable, isn't it?
It's so really weird.
Look, relationships based on lies always last.
That has been your relationship advice from the people at Witty Close. Witty Close, don't listen to our advice.
But like before, but before that, when they go to the building, there's a bunch of weird stuff.
Yeah.
And this isn't good because they're basically, we're going to be working on this all night. And Sarah's like, no, but I got to go see my daughter so that I can actually like see her again.
Yeah.
And she calls Felix and like is freaking out. And then she's like, well, there is more than one of me. And Felix is like, son of a, we learn also that he paints naked.
Yeah.
There's another butt.
There's a butt shot, which we have a lot of those in this show.
So Allison, who, by the way, like she can do, basically her husband's out for the night and she sent the kids to sleep over somebody else's house. And Felix comes by and is basically like, can you pretend to be Sarah? And then we get a giant, well, like at first she's kind of like doesn't want to. Yeah. And is like saying some mean stuff about Sarah, even though Felix is like, hey, like she's making sure this killer doesn't come murder you.
Yeah, and your family.
Yeah, so let's not. So like, let's just do this. And she's like, you know what? Fine. I was in Steel Magnolias, the play. And then we do, I guess, not My Fair Lady, but Selfie.
The inverse of Pygmalion.
I never actually watched. The only reason I want to watch Selfie was because Karen Gillan was in it.
Yeah.
At least she's doing fine.
I don't really care about that one.
Nobody did.
Nobody did. That's why it lasted like 5 episodes.
I think it got 13. Whatever. Anyway, so there's like, it's not really a montage, but I love this bit with you when she says like, hey, and then Felix says not hey, and you're like, oi. And then Allison says oi.
You see, I'm learning.
Helena then calls Beth again, Sarah Beth, whatever, and wants to meet. So, and then sends her a video message with like also like typed in there the address.
Yeah.
And then also basically a message saying, I murdered Maggie Chen. Yeah. This isn't good.
Right. She kind of films like a confession that's supposed to be from the perspective of
Which like she just like plays it and I'm like, honey, headphones.
Yeah. Turn down the sound.
Yeah. And then so Sarah goes to the hotel and confronts Helena. And we learn that Maggie Chen actually was in the work a bit. She says Maggie Chen created you and then saw the light. And so basically realized that Beth did murder Maggie Chen in order to protect them. Right. So there was that. And also we learned Helena's crazy.
Yeah, she's a little nuts. She's a little nutso.
And that she was basically like, raised in some religious thing. Yeah. And that they told her that she was the original.
Yeah, that's kind of like how she kind of gets on that, she thinks the whole clothing thing is like unnatural against God or whatever. And then you're like, well, then why are you doing it? Oh, because she thinks she's the original.
Yeah, which she's not.
She's not.
No. Also, like during this, like, we also kind of see Art. He's like starting to put the pieces together. He knows definitely something's up. And then goes to see what's going on.
Yeah, he's missing that like
one giant thing.
Piece. Yeah, that core piece of information. Once he gets that, he's gonna have that whole thing figured out.
Because he's a good detective.
He's good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Felix and Allison as Sarah. This is like the better example of like pretending to be person. Because like we know both Sarah and Allison, and just like seeing her like going over the top. Yeah. A bit. But they go to Mrs. S and they're at the house and everything seems to be going pretty well. Yeah. And Kira's just kind of like awkward and like you kind of assume it's just like, oh, I haven't seen my mother in like a year. Right. And then Felix and Mrs. S like go out there and Kira's like, you're not my mother.
Yeah, she figures it out real good.
Right away. That's interesting, isn't it, Cailin?
Yes, that is very interesting. That means something, I'm sure of it. By the look you're giving me, I know that's going to come it's gonna something that means something bigger than what it meant in the show.
Yeah, so but basically, Allison just like kind of says like, "Oh, I'm your mother's sister," that kind of thing, and that your mother right now is doing something to make sure that we're all staying safe. So I'm here in her place,
Right?
And Akira, I think she kind of buys it. She knows something's up.
She accepts it. She kind of goes and plays along with it after.
Yeah, and like literally, it just she's like literally just like they do pinkies, and she's like, "Bye, mommy."
Oh,
and I'm like, "Okay, okay." And then they leave, and everything went well.
Yeah,
and like she's being polite, and she basically says like, "All right, you can walk home from school tomorrow."
yeah.
Great.
Yay.
But then Allison does tell Felix that like Kira knew
right
away,
and he's surprised by that.
Yes. Anyway, Beth and Art and the lieutenant are at the precinct, and because we learned that the place where Sarah and Helena met was Maggie Chen's apartment. So and they're kind of like, "What are you doing?" Because that's not good. And basically, she needs they're kind of wondering is like at first like, "Oh, is this connected?" And she has to say no because if
she like flat out refuses it, which is kind of like, ooh, which you probably shouldn't do.
She shouldn't do, but like if you say it's connected,
no, you just say like not to my knowledge or something like that, not just straight out no.
Oh, okay, but then she also quits.
All about those words.
She quits the force.
Yes, that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. I don't know how smart that was.
Yeah, because she just cut herself off from all information. But and then also she just like uninvolved herself. But also maybe they could be suspicious. But also there's a lot of questions about how good of a decision that is.
Who knows? We will find out
in the future.
But we end with Helena kind of stumbling because she did not heal her wound very well.
No.
And so she collapses, and then somebody comes by. And they have a ring on, which is like the symbol that we've been seeing is like a fish thing.
Yes.
We saw it like on Maggie, like not burned on Maggie, like engraved. I don't know.
It was
like scarred on.
No, what's the
branded?
Branded. Yes. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for.
And they take her and they put her in a van.
And then that's the episode.
So what'd you think?
Oh, goodness. We have a conspiracy here, don't we? There's like a whole secret society thing. I'm not sure if it's a secret society, but it feels like it's very some kind of group. Some overzealous kind of group.
Yep, that probably knew about, I don't know if they're scientists or maybe, they're definitely not scientists. They're more like religious.
They seem more like a...
And Kasim actually points this out, that like creationists would assume that if like you do cloning, which is, not natural reproduction, they would be abominations.
Right. So that's that whole thing right there.
So that's why, so we have this.
Yeah. So it's interesting to me that, this is, I guess, pretty standard thoroughfare, but we're learning more. I feel like we're learning more about the antagonists than we're learning about more about the people who want the clones gone than we do about the people who made the clones, and I think that's very interesting. You're giving me that look. But unless it's all one and the same, could be. Who knows?
I mean, I do.
Two sides of the same coin. But so learning more about those people is really interesting because then we're still left with a ton of questions. But it feels like everything is kind of coming out at a good pace. I feel like things are being paced very well.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like how we got to we still get more revealed on some of the characters, like kind of a lot of good Allison moments in this episode. Kind of see her because I think you get to see her a lot as a mom because in that conversation when they're talking about their kids, Kira versus Allison's kids and like the whole,
Gemma and Oscar. If you're
interested. Gemma and Oscar. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, so she's very much a mom in what she does and like how she cares for her kids and like what she's willing to do for other people. So that's kind of a cool part of her personality. And because there's so many female characters, like it doesn't feel like tired. It feels interesting. Yeah. So that's really cool.
I love it. Like there's so many female characters. How many of them are? And it's like
they're all played by the same person. Not all of them, most of them. But it works though.
Is not played by Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, it works though. Like it doesn't feel cheap to me though. I feel like I don't know.
I feel like if you have like a bunch of clones, one of them's gonna be like it's just nice to have like all of them are like significantly. Honestly, like with with the fact that it's all one person, but you need them to like pretty much like be so distinctive, especially like in their look enough so that like you can recognize that this one's this one, this one's this one.
Yeah, and they all kind of come across as that. They really, kudos to Tatiana Maslany. I feel like I'm going to be saying this a lot through this show as we watch it, but she does a good job of everyone has very distinct feel to them.
I love how like sometimes I just like forget.
Yeah.
Much. Especially like
you do.
Especially like in the scene with like her with Sarah and Helena. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Like the Helena makeup's just creepy.
Yeah, but it's so good, especially in that later scene where it's like the two of them, they're very, there's a stark difference between them, so it doesn't feel like the same person at all, which is really cool. So a lot of good acting going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it especially says a lot because a character isn't just the things that they say, kind of like how communication is 94% nonverbal. Yeah. I think it's 94. Yeah. 94, 93. I always mix it up. Hi, I was a comm major. But it's just in the way like their body language is. And it comes off so well. Like you don't just say the words of a character, you have to be the character from head to toe. So this is one of those things where you really see it and you really see it shine through. So it's the performances are very lovely and they're a lot of fun to watch.
Yep, I knew you liked the show so much.
Oh, great. Now I feel pressure to find something wrong about it so I can say something critical.
Like that. Like, I mean, no show's flawless.
Oh, true.
You'll find something.
I'm sure I will.
It's still perfect, but that's fine. All right, so that's the end of this episode.
Yeah, well, what do you think watching it again? Didn't get to ask you that.
Oh, yeah.
Please give me your opinion, Dara.
Probably because I rewatched this earlier, so I'm just like, oh, yeah.
But you didn't tell me about it.
That's true. I mean, it's just like, it's interesting, like, especially, like, I was kind of noticing this, like, as I was rewatching this, like, seeing, like, some, not even just, like, all the clones, but, like, other characters, like, seeing, like, watching them again, and, like, it's interesting, like, going back to a show, especially, like, because, like, it literally just ended. So, like, seeing all where they were at the end and then going back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And seeing where they all are and kind of like, oh, my God, I forgot that, like, this is where, like, you started.
Yes.
And just, like, seeing, like, oh, my God, and I know where you're going.
Yeah.
And it's, like, super interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool to come back and see it once again, especially, like, I guess with that short of a turnaround, it's interesting. So, yeah, I have a couple different theories for Art. Because at the beginning I was like, maybe he's one of the bad guys. But I'm like, no, he's probably not one of the bad guys. But maybe he's going to die. I have a feeling he's going to die.
Okay, you can think that. That's
maybe.
Totally fine.
He's going to, it's one of those cases where he's going to, he's either going to die or he's going to become kind of an antagonistic force. He's not going to side with the bad guys, but he's going to kind of be in a position that is working against the main characters without him really knowing. So that's kind of my theory right now. So we'll see where that goes.
That is a great theory. Thanks, Cailin. Anyway.
Don't patronize me.
So, that's the end. Okay, so that's the end of the show. If you if you are listening to this on YouTube, subscribe to us at Woody Clothes Productions.
Yeah, we post videos.
Yes, and videos and podcasts and whatever. You can find us on Facebook at Woody Clothes Productions. You can find us on Twitter at Woody Clothes. Patreon, if you guys want to give us money so we can keep doing this and maybe get more into it or like do more because we like money and this will be fun.
That was real smooth. We like money.
I mean,
we do.
We do. You can find us on iTunes at Woody Clothes Productions. Leave us a review and a rating, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
Also, we have an email at woodyclothes@gmail.com.
Yeah, talk to us.
Yep.
We like those emails. We're very excited about them.
So thanks again for listening, guys. This was a lot of fun. I'm so happy Cailin is enjoying the show.
Yay.
Okay, so we will be back, and we'll be talking about Episode 5, Conditions of Existence, and Episode 6, Variations Under Domestication.
These are some very interesting... I want to know what the theme... We'll come back to that later.
I don't know if there's exactly a theme.
It sounds like there maybe...
I don't know. Maybe later on.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.
Peace.